Halev shelanu shavui ba'aza, which means in Hebrew, our heart is hostage in Gaza, and then bring them home now. And here you can see on her sign it says Naama Levi.
Naama Levi.
Only 19 years old.
Right. I think about them all the time. I think about when I take a shower. I think about them when I go to the bathroom. I think about the lack of privacy. This is today.
This is day 163. So every day you guys put a sticker. Got out of reserve duty since the beginning of October. It's a long time.
Yeah, very
long time. Do you have any family who's been taken hostage, or more signs you can see here? As much as life has sort of gone to normal in Israel, for a lot of people, and I'm talking about thousands upon thousands of people, this is like a fight that has not stopped. This guy ran away from Iraq because of Islamic extremism and was taken hostage by Islamic extremists to Gaza. Yellow ribbon, some of them say bring them back home. Shalom Chaverim, and welcome back to Jerusalem.
What's up, guys?
It's Moshe.
I'm back.
We're in the capital of Jewish life, folks, and today we're going to show you guys what Jerusalem looks like during this war. We're still in the October 7th war. There's obviously a major crisis in the country of Israel. We'll talk a little bit about it, but I wanted to show you guys this this neighborhood because we're in a bit of a quiet neighborhood here in Jerusalem. It's very quaint. It's very nice. There's lots of really nice, beautiful old architecture. We just passed by this called the Salameh House. What was it? The Lebanese, built in 1935, Lebanese businessman Constantine Salameh. It's now the Belgian consulate. Belgian consul in Jerusalem. We're gonna go down. I don't really want to film it, just in case whoever's watching this has nefarious reasoning. But we're passing by. What did you say it was going?
It's like hostage spots that they set up to protest and to bring awareness and to just talk about the whole situation, the hostages, bring them back home. There's a lot of it. We're gonna go see. There's posters up everywhere, little spots to people sit down and just to talk and to get to know, and also to be active within the process of trying to bring them back, of course.
So you were saying that there's protests that happen. Is it every night or every Saturday night?
They usually happen every night. Every Saturday night for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually happens through the streets of Jerusalem within this area. They walk from, it's called the Rehov Aza, which we'll go see later in the video. But they walk down and they hold big signs. They have this big yellow ribbon that is supposed to, I think it's supposed to be the symbol for hostages, right?
Yeah, we've signified that the yellow, well, I'll show you right now actually. See, they're all over Israel. Everywhere you go, you'll see these yellow signs. But in Israel right now, everybody's carrying them around. It's one of those things I've talked about since I came to Israel. See these yellow ribbons? Some of them say bring them back home. I had one attached to my backpack, but it fell off. But you'll see this on so many vehicles, on so many trees. If you look around hard enough, you'll see them everywhere. So I don't want to film in there just in case it's sensitive material, but just down the street is supposedly, what did you say? It was the Prime Minister's house?
Yeah, it's the Prime Minister's house. It's under renovations at the moment, I believe, but it's supposed to be.
But it's like the Prime Minister's house. Like every time there's a new Prime Minister, they move in there.
Yeah. So it's like the White House.
Here's a fun little thing to show you guys. These in Israel, they're called chamtzutzim. Are these bees? No, they're flies. Want one, Moshe? When I was a kid and I lived in Israel, we used to pick these near school. The stem of the flower has a really sweet sap that comes out of it.
It's sour.
Sweet and sour.
More sour than sweet.
Wow.
It's like a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. That's sour. I love these though. They grow all over Israel. They're amazing. A lot of these houses are very old and they have plaques all around. And you can tell because of the war, there's a sense of unity here throughout the entire neighborhood. There's Israeli flags on every corner, as is here in Israel. It's right outside of the main area where the Prime Minister's house is. They've set up this sort of hostage center. There's usually people outside here on the street. And this is basically a demonstration. It's like a tent set up. And you were saying like people, they drink coffee in here, right? The people sit here, they talk.
Yeah.
I think it's made up for the families of the hostages. Because this, the Mate HaMishpachot L'Achzarat HaChatufim, and the people who disappeared. This is a center set up in Tel Aviv, who are the ones who have set up and organized all the logos and everything you see here for the hostages. And their center in the main part of Tel Aviv is where most of the families of the hostages, they come and they gather. And this is just a little look at one of the tents they have here outside of a very important part of the Israeli government, which is the Prime Minister's house. Okay. מה השם שלך?
קוראים לי צינה.
צינה?
אני יכולה להגיד את זה באנגלית.
Okay, so say it in English.
I'm a volunteer. I'm not one of the family of the hostages, but we're all family, and that's why we're here, and we should be out, all of us.
What is the actual tent? Because I pass by it very frequently, and I never really got clarification on exactly what the tent is here.
This tent is a tent supporting the families of the hostages in whatever they need, basically. We bring them food, and we also keep this act 24/7. It's active, so they can come here if they're in the area, and they do come here. And it's very important for us to raise the consciousness and the activity of population.
How long have you been volunteering here for?
I've been volunteering just for a few weeks.
For a few weeks. And can you explain, I've never done this in any of my videos, can you explain what the dog tag that you're wearing on your shirt is?
First of all, dog tag is, I don't know if everyone knows, but dog tag is what any soldier keeps to identify him. And it's been taken to, what it says is they bring them home.
Yeah, you can see here. Halev shelanu shavui ba'aza, which means in Hebrew, our heart is hostage in Gaza, and then bring them home now. Which this is all organized by the Mate.
By the Mate, but it's not the Jerusalem Mate. It's the overall Mate, which is affiliated. I don't know the details exactly.
And the sign that you're holding up?
I personally connected to these two women. I feel strongly that I need to in my mind, the young women who were taken hostage. I think about them all the time. I think about when I take a shower. I think about them when I go to the bathroom. I think about the lack of privacy. Not even talking about anything worse than that. And I think women have a slightly different point of view than men in understanding.
100%.
Yeah.
Far worse conditions for them in Gaza.
Yeah.
And here you can see on her sign it says Naama Levi.
Naama Levi.
Only 19 years old.
Right.
And
this is Doron Steinberg. She's 30. I think Doron was at the party. One of them.
Yeah. And you can see here on the chairs a beautiful display. It's one of the most touching things I think from any of the displays that I've seen around Israel is this constant concept of leaving chairs out, leaving tables out for our family members that are still out.
It's worthwhile seeing in the National Library.
Yeah.
On each chair there's a book that somehow connects to age and personality and returning home. It's fascinating.
And here's the whole display. You can see right here from the beginning of the street. You've got chairs with all the different hostages. You can see just the wide variety of ages of people who have been kidnapped. She has somebody who's 19, you have people who are 56, you have people in their 70s, you have people in their 50s. There was no discrimination. You're 75. There was no discrimination. This is the same age as me, 27. No discrimination in age. It was anybody was fair game. Doesn't matter what age you were, what gender, you were fair game. It's insane that almost 6 months in, and you can see they're actively calling for support for people to come in and support them.
This is today.
This is day 163. So every day you guys put a sticker. Is it okay to go in and film?
Sure.
Yeah?
Please. Yeah, welcome.
אהלן.
Nitzan
בוקר טוב. נעים מאוד, טל. אני יוטיובר, אני מצלם עכשיו סרטונים על המלחמה ועל המצב בארץ. So one of the volunteers that's organizing this place was telling me right now we can come in here. I guess this is a form of protest, no Mosh? Yeah. It's they're sleeping in here in this tent, in the tents. And one of the people who isn't sleeping here just literally got out of reserve duty in the army. So he's not even letting himself like chill out, relax, be at home with his family. He's literally sleeping in a tent to protest for the hostages. פה אתה ישן?
משתדל, כן. לא, ישנתי פה רק אתמול, אבל נשאר פה כמה ימים. ואז נראה לאן אני אמשיך.
כמה זמן אתה כבר מתנדב פה ב...
רק מאתמול, השתחררתי במילואים לפני שבועיים.
וואו.
כן.
וואו.
12 באוקטובר.
וואו, המון זמן.
כן, זה היה המון.
Wow. So there you go. This is where he's been sleeping. Just one night, 2 nights now. But he just got out of reserve duty since the beginning of October. It's a long time.
Yeah, very long.
Long time. Do you have any family who's been taken hostage or?
Not related.
Nobody related to you.
No. Lucky.
There you go. This is what the place looks like, and this is a beautiful act of solidarity with everybody who's been taken hostage. More signs you can see here. As much as life has sort of gone to normal in Israel, for a lot of people, and I'm talking about thousands upon thousands of people, this is like a fight that has not stopped at all. And like it's a huge, powerful job to keep this alive, like to keep the message turning. I wanted to make a note, by the way, about this girl. She was really taken in the news, very popular. There was a whole talk about her, especially with the Chinese government. She is half Chinese, half Israeli. Her story has been super popular. Her mother is actually dying of a degenerative brain cancer, I believe. And she's still in captivity. They've been trying to push for months and months and months to get her out of captivity so she could see her dying mother. And even the government of China has been unable to make that happen. So this is Noah. This is one of the stories. This is also one of the most popular stories. Ariel Bibas, which is one of the youngest, I believe, or his brother is the youngest child in captivity. He's only 2 years old or a couple months old. His father. Some of the most prominent figures here. It's the last time. This is Wotzim Otam B'Chaim. We want them alive. Powerful messaging here. So we're going to continue on. There was something else, Moshe. There was another place you were saying in the Aza Street, right?
Yeah, so that's where normally they go in and they do all the protests. They'll do like with all the signs.
The picketing signs?
Yeah, the picketing signs. They'll go with those. They'll go with the ribbons, the yellow ribbons. And then usually they start shouting. I can't really make up what they say because it's hard with the microphone.
Right.
But it usually goes on the lines of like, the army's doing what they can. We understand. But we're going to do our part. And this is our part by protesting, by showing that we care for all the hostages. And we're going to try to make a deal as quickly and as soon as possible to bring them back home.
Yeah, even last night when we were here, there was a huge demonstration.
Yeah, just
right as we arrived, like all of this right in front where they're standing over there with the signs. This whole thing was blocked off, like a bunch of people. These are just some street signs saying we're bringing him home now. And literally on every single light post, every single corner. There you go. Yellow ribbon. There's another bring them home now poster. More faces of the hostages. There you go. And I can't stress enough, it's not just this street. It's not just Jerusalem. This is a nationwide act of solidarity. Like you see it across the entire country. It's everywhere. But obviously very prominent since it's right here, like one of the main centers is. All right, so we're down on Aza Street now, Mush.
Yeah, not to be confused with Gaza.
The Gaza Strip.
Right. Aza Street right here.
Aza.
Yeah. So here is where most and the majority of them start, like the protest. They actually have the barricades right here in front of us because it's always happening every single day. Everyone comes out here. It usually starts here. They usually chant. Goes through a few, maybe like 20 minutes, and then they start walking across all of Gaza, either going up there from where we just came from, or coming down here and making their way down to the central station of Jerusalem. Sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And this is not to be making a political commentary on Israeli society at all. But Aza, from what I remember, here is a very young area, right? A lot of younger people, a lot of bars, a lot of more hip restaurants, coffee shops, things like that. This is a more young area, and there's been a tendency in the last year or two for a lot of the younger population of Israel to be sort of anti-government, anti the current government. And so it makes sense that this would be sort of a hub or a center of protest against the current government, because a lot of these Bring Them Now protests have also been in conjunction with, and totally understandable, right? Again, not a commentary on politics, but have been anti the current government and sort of holding them accountable for what happened on October 7th and beyond, and the handling of this war. So again, while not interjecting my personal opinions by any means, this is just so you understand, this whole area of Aza is a more young, hip area, and it makes sense. You see Bring Them Now posters in every corner here. You can see it's like organized. We'll go down there a little bit. There was one other bigger display over there. So this is a sort of war support poster. It says Am Echad Belev Echad, which means one nation with one heart. You can even see by the car that's driving past here, Be'achad Nenatzeach, we're gonna win together. There's a Bring Them Home Now poster. It says Totziu Otam Ma'Gehenom, which means take them out of hell, which is, you know, pertaining to Gaza. Here you've got Bring Them Home Now in Hebrew, and then another display. This is just on a children's park. A display of more of the hostages. These are the posters. These are actually the famous posters that have been unfortunately ripped down. I've spoken about this in videos past, but ripped down all over the world. In major cities like London and Miami and New York. This guy is actually, I'm working really hard speaking to his family right now to try to make a deeper story about him. He's an Iraqi refugee, similar to my family, came here at the same time as my family, ran away from Iraq because of Islamic extremism, and was taken hostage by Islamic extremists to Gaza. One of the saddest stories, in my opinion. He's 85 years old. So you have here posters of all these kidnapped people. And again, I've spoken about this before, but I'll say it again. For an Israeli, there's almost no rationale that you'll be able to explain of somebody ripping down one of those posters and throwing them away. There's like zero thing you could say that will justify or make us understand why that's an action that you can take and want us to understand why you're doing it. And that's something that has happened since the beginning of the war so frequently. Before? So here you guys go. We're on the buses. More protests here. The protests there, they were saying, there was a sign saying Ata Rosh, Ata Bai, I believe that's what it is, which means like you're the head, you're the problem, and specifically talking about the Prime Minister of Israel right now. So you can see there's more tents just down there. They're lining all the streets of Jerusalem pretty much.
There's a one that's on Next Up as well, where they have like a huge sitting area, and usually during the nighttime they get like a bunch of people. They do like a little eat, like a snack stop. You go and you talk to some of the hostage families. You eat a little bit, you drink a little bit, you talk to them. It's like a little bit of showing support towards the hostages.
In the next stop?
In the next stop.
So this is the central bus station here in Jerusalem, also the central train station, and the site of the light rail. There's a sense of normalcy, like hustle and bustle is back. People are roaming around. But you remember when you see the soldiers armed everywhere, the reserve soldiers, there's a higher number than there's ever been in my life. Everywhere patrolling the streets. There are so many reservists everywhere. And obviously those signs of unity about the war and the hostage symbols, it's still sort of a murmur that you can't get out of. It's like a constant reminder that actually there's something deeper going on while there's some sort of facade of normal life coming back. The holiday of Purim is coming up in a few days, which is a high important holiday of happiness and celebration here in the world of Judaism, especially in Jerusalem. And while a lot of people are planning on celebrating, I think that a majority of the country is feeling very conflicted. While we've got over 100 members of our family still hostage in Gaza in terrible conditions, women, children, elderly, men. And I myself know I'm going to be very conflicted don't think I'll be celebrating anything during that holiday other than just the requirements from the religious side. It's a tough time. It's a tough time. You see there's so many soldiers flooding into the train station, the bus station to go off to duty in different parts of Israel right now, because we're literally being attacked on many different fronts. And while, again, there's this feeling of normalcy here in Jerusalem, it's a very tough time. See you guys in the next one. I love you long time.